Yeah, welcome back to KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal,
I'm Andy.
and we are KAMMA. We are about to talk about the early predictions for UFC 305 for the main card. Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. I just want to say one last thing. If you guys were listening to the prelims there, I just want to say one last thing about Walter Walker and Junior Tafa. Definitely going for Walter Walker, giving him one last chance. But Junior Tafa is live for a knockout, man. That motherfucker could punch hard. That's all I wanted to say. But let's get into the main card here. Andy O is going to tell us who's part of the main card.
All right, so opening up the main card is Tai Tuivasa against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Then we got Mateusz Gamrot against Dan Hooker. Kai Kara France against Steve Urseg. Uh, then we have for the main event, Dricus du Plessis against Izzy Adesanya.
And you just missed the first fight there, which was Jing Liang Li.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we're opening this up with Jing Liang Li against Carlos Paredes. Take it away, man.
All right, so let's start it right off with Jing Liang Li against Carlos Prates, man. Yeah, this fight here, I got to go with Carlos Prates. You really have to go with this guy. Coming out of Fighting Nerds, these guys are just on fire lately. All these fighters from Fighting Nerds have been on fire. Prates has been looking phenomenal. The guy is on a 5-fight winning streak. Got into the Dana White Contender Series, beating Mitch Ramirez by knockout.
If you want to count in all, he's actually on an 11 fight winning streak.
Yeah, you know what I mean? This guy's been on a tear. Makes his UFC debut against a tough Trevin Giles, knocks that motherfucker out. And then he fights Charles Radke and knocks him out as well. So Carlos Prates looked good in that last fight too. I remember watching that fight. I had a bet on Carlos Prates.
I had Radke on that man, and he made him look bad. And I still don't think Radke's bad, but Prates looked good.
Prates looked really good in that one. Jing Liang Li hasn't fought since it's been a year and 10 months, almost 2 years ago. It's been almost 2 years now. His last fight, he lost against Daniel Rodriguez. He also underwent surgery on his back. He had a pretty bad back injury. I think it was a spinal injury that he had, and he had to have surgery. So he's been off for a long time. We don't know how he's going to look when he comes back from that surgery there. He lost to Daniel Rodriguez. He did beat Muslim Salikov, knocked him out. Khamzat Chimaev, he got subbed by him. That's not a bad loss. He beat Santiago Ponzinibbio by knockout and lost to Neil Magny by unanimous decision. Jing Liang Li is a very, very explosive fighter. He comes out there, he's very explosive, good on the feet, good striking. He's got some power, good grappling. He's got some wrestling, got some jiu-jitsu a bit there too. He's going to be 6 foot with a 72-inch reach, but Carlos Prates is going to be an inch taller. But one of the main significant things here is the 6-inch reach advantage for Carlos Prates. Which is, that's very significant because Prates is very good on the feet. He's a very good striker and boxer. Definitely he's going to keep at range.
That's Gilbert Burns Jenkins' reach advantage.
Yeah, pretty much. And, he's going to be able to he's going to be able to keep that distance. Carlos Prates is a nightmare. That's why he's called the Nightmare. The guy has everything, very well rounded. The guy could strike, he could grapple, he could wrestle, he's got jiu-jitsu. He's got some power as well. Out of his 19 wins, he's looking really good. He's got 14 knockouts, 3 submissions, and 2 decisions. So the power is there for the knockout. Again, I don't know how Jing Liang Li is going to look coming after that spinal back surgery. That is not a joke, man. Like, that's not something you come back from easily. Very risky to even want to bet on Jing Liang Li, is based on that information. I got to go with Carlos Prates here, man. And I got him winning for sure by knockout or decision. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carlos Prates here. He's on an 11 fight winning streak. I think he looked awesome in his two fights in the UFC here. He did a lot of his losing earlier on in his career, and the guy has experience. Not only does he do MMA, but he does like mixed kickboxing, and he's very, very good on his feet. Like Zhiling Yang, he's tough. I like Zhiling Li. He comes to fight every time. But yeah, after that back injury, after 2 years off, I don't know if the first fight back here is going to be him at his best compared to how he was before, if he ever reaches that point, you know, and he is 19 and 8, 36 years old now. I think you're seeing one of those cases with a fighter that's on the rise against a fighter that's on the fall. So yeah, I'm going to go with Carlos Prates by a knockout or decision.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that he's the younger fighter by 5 years. That's significant there. You know, Jing Lian Li coming after a surgery like that at 36 years old. That's old, pretty old to come back from a surgery like that. And not to mention, Carlos Pratt is a crazy Muay Thai fighter, man. The guy's got it tattooed on his chest. You can see there in the picture. He's a great Muay Thai fighter, but a Muay Thai fighter who actually can wrestle and actually has some grappling as well. He's got a ground game. So, you know, most Muay Thai fighters, they keep the fight on the feet, not known for their grappling, but this guy is. Like, he's able to do it all. So, yeah, Carlos Pratt is easy there. And not to mention, I forgot to say, folks, me and Andy O, we were in agreement in all of the fights in the prelims. So let's keep it going here in the main card. Next fight here.
All right, so next week got good old Bam Bam Tuivasa against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Uh, this one here was a pretty easy choice for me. I'm gonna go with Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who's not 6'2". I think he's more like 6 feet tall. I thought he was 5'10", but anyway, I think he's just the far crisper professional striker as compared to Tai Tuivasa, which is essentially a guy that likes drinking beer out of his shoe and like showing up. Like he's tough as nails. He has a hard head, hard face, but he's coming off 4 losses in a row, man. Tibura beat him last time, and we saw how easily Tibura got beat by Spivak, although different matchup, right? He lost to Alexander Volkov, Pavlovich, Gane. He loses against good guys, but I really don't feel like he's a professional fighter, not professional in the sense of his ability, because, well, he doesn't even have any real professional looking ability, despite some good leg kicks. But kind of like the effort there in the gym, for example, or eating the right foods. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's fat.
I don't think he's that type of guy that really cares about that. You know, the level of commitment is not really there. Jairzinho, I predict just a crisp striking, really well-timed shots, nice feints, and Jairzinho should be able to get a decision or a knockout. I'm leaning towards a decision actually here. Not a knockout. Knockout for Jairzinho.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. Tai Tuivasa is a fat fuck. You know, the guy comes out there in horrible shape. Of course, Jairzinho is going to be in better shape. That's for damn sure. Um,
Jairzinho, you mentioned that he has been looking progressively in better shape compared to when he started, I find.
Yeah, yeah, he looks pretty decent, man. But yeah, like you know, the guy's got coming up a 4 fight losing streak. You know, the guy's fun to watch sometimes too. Ivesa, you know, he's Australian. He's going to be in his hometown. You know, for betting purposes, you want to throw a sprinkle on the knockout. Why not? The guy's got fucking 13 knockouts out of his 14 wins. Throw the fucking sprinkle on the knockout on this guy, but he's not going to win. I got Jairzinho Rozenstruik winning the fight here. He's the better fighter. The guy can grapple. You know, he's got good striking. Tai Tuivasa can't really wrestle or grapple. He can just knock out people. That's all he has. He's got that puncher's chance there. The UFC's keeping him in just because he's fun, and you know, he doesn't mind fighting the toughest guys. I mean, fucking Tibura subbed him, which is not a great win, you know, in hindsight now that we've seen how Tibura is not looking that good. He did sub Alexander Volkov. Sorry, he lost to he got subbed by Alexander Volkov. He got knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich, which was a pretty bad knockout in that one, and he got knocked out by Cyril Gane there. He did miraculously knock out Derek Lewis, but yeah, he's a knockout or bust type of fighter, and yeah, I mean, Rosenstruck, this is a fight that he could win here. If he just stays on the feet, keeps it at a decent distance there with that 3-inch reach advantage. Just box properly. Don't get hit with any hard shots from Tuivasa. Take him down, which Jairzinho Rozenstruik could do.
They're not going to take him down.
It would be good to see. If he could take him down, that would be great. But if he just, keeps it at a distance, and he's going to be faster than Tuivasa, and I think he'll move around quicker, get the shots in there. I think he can land a hard one here on Tuivasa. I mean, he has been knocked out before against Sergey Pavlovich and Cyril Gane. So, Rozenstruik does have the power to knock out people. He did knock out Shamil Gaziev in his last fight, which was five months ago. He lost to Jailton Almeida by submission. Jailton Almeida is a beast when it comes to groundwork.
Yeah, he put him away easily with ground game, you see?
Yeah, he knocked out Chris Daukaus. So he has knockout power. He did lose to Curtis Blades and Alexander Volkov as well. But it's his fight to win, Jairzinho Rozenstruik here. I'm going to pick Jairzinho Rozenstruik to get the win. When we come to the betting, we'll talk about the sprinkle on Tuivasa by knockout there. But Jairzinho should win by KO or decision in this one. All right, so we're in agreement with the fight here. Let's move on up to the next one here. We got Mateusz Gamrot against Dan Hooker. This is a kind of a tricky fight. It's a bit tricky in the sense that, Dan Hooker is going to have a nice height and reach advantage there. He's going to have a 2-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Dan Hooker could be, he could be scary sometimes. He is pretty good, but lately, he came back and won a couple of fights there as he was on a 2-fight losing skid to Islam Makhachev and Arnold Allen. I mean, Islam Makhachev is very good. Subbed him. Arnold Allen knocked him out. These are two really good fighters, He has beaten Nasrat Haqparast. He has beaten Claudio Puelles by knockout, and Jalen Turner, he beat him by split decision there. And I was pissed off. I had money on Jalen Turner in that one. I was pissed off about that one. So, Dan Hooker did look good in that one. But Mateusz Gamrot, though, man, beating Rafael dos Anjos in his last fight, knocking out Rafael Fiziev. And Rafael Fiziev is fucking tough, powerful guy. And he managed to knock him out. Actually, he had a leg injury in that one, Fiziev. And then he got a split decision win over Jalen Turner. So he did lose to Beneil Dariush by decision. Didn't get subbed, though, which was pretty good to see. And he did
And he won a unanimous decision against Arman Tsarukyan.
He did win that, yeah. So, Arman Tsarukyan's very good, too. So, Mateusz Gamrot should get the win here with his relentless grappling. You know how Gamrot fights. He's a wrestler. He's a grappler. He goes nuts. He's relentless with the takedowns. He's relentless with the ground game. On the feet, he's all right. But I'm going to go with Mateusz Gamrot just because I think he could take down Dan Hooker and keep him on the ground and use his wrestling and grappling skills. He's obviously better on the ground than Dan Hooker. But Dan Hooker, if he stays on the feet, if he fends off takedowns and stays on the feet, if Gamrot can't take him down, it's going to be a problem. Definitely think Dan Hooker could be a good dog. I'm gonna go with Gamrot in this one, though. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gamrot on this one. I don't really buy into this new hype for Dan Hooker that he really wanted on this card, and now, he's going to win the fight. He's, win a couple, lose one fighter, but lately just lose a little more than he wins. Gamrot, not always the most solid on the feet, but he always kind of gets clipped a little, but he recovers and he always ends up taking you down. Just the way he is with those takedowns, it kind of drags you down. I think it's going to pose a lot of difficulty for Dan Hooker, just his height advantage and reach advantage, because Gamrot didn't really have a problem with Jalen Turner, and he has more of that than Dan Hooker does.
True.
So, yeah, I don't want to say easy work, but if things go to plan, it should be a unanimous decision win for Gamrot, I say, or maybe even sub. But let's go with for Gamrot.
I think I agree with you there. The sub or decision for Gamrot could be something there. Um, I mean, he could get a finish, but you know, most of his wins have been by decision for Gamrot. Let me just take a look quickly.
There's an argument to be made that Gamrot should be undefeated.
He's got 8 knockouts, 5 submissions, 11 decisions. So yeah, a majority of his wins are by decision. The knockout or decision, most likely in this one. I don't know if he subs Dan Hooker, but knockout or decision is probably where I'm going to go with how he gets the win here for Gamrot.
Mm,
But again, I do think Dan Hooker could be a live dog though, because he is dangerous with body kicks. He knocked out Claudio Puelles with a body kick, and if he keeps a distance on Gamrot, he could be better on the feet. And you've seen, like you said, Gamrot's been rocked before. So if Dan Hooker can get land something hard on him, could rock him. And like I said, if he can fend off the takedowns, Dan Hooker could win that way if Gamrot has a hard time taking him down. But I don't think he's going to have a hard time. I think he's going to just keep going at it nonstop the whole fight and
yeah,
keep the fight on the ground.
I figure it has to be more volume for Hooker to win if he has a chance on this one. I remember
Yeah.
Hooker hitting Dustin Poirier a lot of fights ago, and he must have hit him with a 30 or 40 punch combination against the fence, and Dustin Poirier didn't even have a scratch. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, the pick is I feel very confident about this one actually with Gamrot.
I like Gamrot. I don't feel very confident about it, but I like Gamrot to get the win here. All right, let's move on up. So far, we're in agreement with every single fight so far. This is really good. UFC 305 looking good. Let's move on up. Next fight we got.
All right. So next fight we got Kai Kara France against Steve Urseg. Now, Kai Kara France, if you look at his record, only pretty much loses to like really good guys. And I'm gonna have to go with Kai Kara France in this fight. I also because I feel coming off a championship fight, the loser of the fight isn't usually that great afterwards. Whether it's like they feel they have to switch a bunch of things up or they feel they're not good enough to make it like as champion, I don't know. But Kara France, Kai Kara France has awesome power for the weight class. Steve Urseg is going to have to respect it. And it's Steve Urseg that's going to be going for the takedowns, I believe, due to that fact. And Kai Kara France has very good takedown defense. And I think he's pretty underrated. He took a lot of time off since he had that concussion. And I think it's a good thing because Manel Cap really wanted to fight him. Remember, he was calling him out there and getting all upset at Izzy at one point at a conference, something like that. So his last 2 fights, he lost to Amir Albazi and Brandon Moreno. No real shame in losing to those guys. Come on. And before that, he did beat Askar Askarov, beat Cody Garbrandt, no problem in the first round by knockout, and Rogerio Bontorin. So this guy's beating good guys, only losing to the best. Steve Urseg is great at submissions. I don't think he has the power to threaten Kara France the way he should, especially if you kind of want to rough Kara France up, noggin wise after coming off a knockout. After coming off a concussion. Sorry to say. But yeah, I think the dog's going to be howling in this fight. Give me Kai Kara France, man.
Man, you know what? I do think that Kai Kara France is a good dog. I think we're going to have our first disagreement, though, in this one. I got to go with Steve Urseg, man. I can't go against the Australian fighting in Australia. Steve Urseg is going to be at home with his hometown crowd. I know Kai Kara France is not far from home either. This guy's from
He's at home, too.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand there. He's pretty much at home as well. But
Oh,
I think the fans, they like Steve Urseg, though, man. This guy has been looking just amazing ever since he came into the UFC, beating David Dvorak. I think he came in short notice, and he beat him. I can't remember. I'm not sure there. Maybe I'm mistaken.
yeah, but I don't
One of
know.
those fights, he came in on short notice. Anyways, he beat David Dvorak by unanimous decision. He beat Alessandro Costa by unanimous decision. He knocked out Matt Schnell as well. And he lost to Alexander Pantoja. I mean, Pantoja's the best in the division. I mean, Pantoja.
They say the only real good win there is Pantoja.
No, he lost to Pantoja.
Yeah, the only good, real good test,
yeah.
real good test was Pantoja, like Matt Schnell, man. Oh, sorry to bring up your grandma again, but I'm sure she talked about Matt Schnell at some point too.
Matt Schnell, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, I do see that, Kai Kara France did fight the better fighters, like Cody Garbrandt. Askarov is not that good though. Well, actually,
Well, if you go back further,
Brandon
like you'll
Moreno
see,
and Amir Albazi. Yeah, no, he has fought better fighters there. The thing that worries me though is he's a tiny guy, Kai Kara France, man. He's only 5'4". Steve Ursay's going to be towering over him at 5'8". They both have about the same reach. But the towering over him, Steve Ursay's normally, fighting against guys that are a little taller than him or at the same height. Now he's going to be fighting a guy smaller than him. And Steve Ursay is really, really good at grappling, really good at jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I think he'll easily take Kai Kara France down. I don't think Kai France.
no
I think
way.
his takedown defense is overrated for Kai Kara France. I don't think his takedown defense is that amazing. I think he's good. He's got some good, takedown defense, but I don't think it's that amazing. I think Steve Ursay could have the winning advantage here with the grappling and wrestling, and his striking has been pretty decent as well on the feet. Kai Kara France could be a good dog. He does have some power in his hands. He knocked out Cody Garbrandt,
There's
knocked out
power in the
Mario
division.
Botharin. But he's a small guy, man.
He has that
That's what
Michael
worries me.
Chandler power, man. Come on.
He does have power, but again, I'm worried about how small he is to Steve Ursay. I think Steve Ursay is just going to be this bigger guy towering over him there, and will have an easier time taking him down because of his size there. I'm going to
I
get Steve Ursay to win by submission or decision in this one.
I
That's where I'm going with that.
Okay, I didn't say that. I don't think I got to that. I'm gonna pick Kara France by knockout or decision here. Him and his stellar 88% takedown defense
I
is
think it's
gonna
overrated.
it's gonna be a little too much for good old Steve Ursek, who I like because he looks like a milkman. But yeah, man, I'm going with the dog here, man. Should be a great fight. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Amir Albazi took him down all kinds in that last fight. Kai Kara France, he took him down all kinds in that fight. Brandon Moreno took him down all kinds in that fight as well. So he does
Both
lose.
those guys are better. Both those guys are better takedown guys than Urseg, though.
I think they're about. I think that Urseg can be up there with those guys with the.
Like Urseg is good, like great down there. Don't get me wrong, but to get it down there, I don't know. We'll see. That's what makes it a compelling fight, right?
Yeah, I just think that Kai Kara France has a weakness, and it's when he gets taken down. And I think that if Urseg takes him down, that's going to be the problem. And I think Urseg will take him down because of the big size advantage there. So we're in our first disagreement in this one. I've got Steve Urseg to win by submission or decision. You've got Kai Kara France to win by what? You said?
Knockout or decision.
Knockout or decision. All right, so moving on up to the next fight here.
Oh yeah.
It is the main event of the evening. We got Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Man, guys, obviously, man, I'm a big fan of Izzy. Last style bender. I'm a fan of this guy, man. I'm not gonna count him out, man, and think that he's done. This is a former champion, man. Let's not forget he's a fucking champion, man. Like, people are counting him out like there's no tomorrow, man. I am gonna take Dricus Du Plessis. Don't get me. Don't get.
You're
me
taking
wrong.
him, and you're. Oh,
I am gonna pick Dricus Du Plessis. Don't get me wrong.
hey man, you heard it here, man. The real deal is picking Dricus Du Plessis because it is life dependent on it. The way we make our picks here, that's who's gonna win the fight, right? So. That's right, man. Dricus all the way, baby.
Dricus Du Plessis is obviously better at wrestling and grappling than Adesanya. That's where he's going to win. The guy is relentless with his grappling and
Everything.
takedowns. Very, very strong guy, powerful. I think he'll be thicker and bigger than Izzy. Not to mention he's 5 years younger. He looked good against Sean Strickland, but that was a one where some people said that Sean Strickland could have won that fight, but I don't think he did. I think that Dricus did a very good job of beating up on Sean Strickland throughout the whole fight. I think he won like 4 rounds. Some people say that it was 3-2 for Strickland. I see that I think it was four rounds for Dricus to the 1 for Strickland.
I think Dricus won that fight myself.
Yeah, he did beat Robert Whitaker by knockout. which is Robert Whitaker is very, very good as well.
He manhandled Whitaker in that fight.
Yeah, he did. He was fucking taking him down, like throwing him around pretty much. He knocked out Derek Brunson, submitted Darren Till, and beat Brad Tavares up by unanimous decision. So he's been on a fight winning streak. Stylebender lost to Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. A bit of MMA math there. Alex Pereira also, he knocked out Alex Pereira, don't forget, but that was the first fight for Alex Pereira where those two fought the first time. But then the first fight he lost to Alex Pereira where he got knocked out. Then he came back and knocked him out. He did beat Jerry Cannonier and also beat Robert Whitaker. So the thing though about Izzy is going to have a 3-inch height advantage and also a massive 4-inch reach advantage. So where Izzy could win is if he fights Izzy style, keeps the fight at a distance, leg kick strikes, dance around, move around, try not to get taken down, try to piece him up on the feet with his boxing. That's where he could beat.
And the kicks, man, the kicks,
exactly. So if he can do that, there is still a chance for Izzy to win, man. So I think it's going to be a closer fight than people think. But I'm going to give the lean to Dricus because of the grappling advantage he has, man, and the wrestling advantage and the relentlessness that he has when it comes to takedowns. And I think he is going to take down Izzy a few times and could possibly get a finish there as well. So I'll go with Dricus du Plessis to win by finish. I mean, it's hard to finish Stylebender, but he has been knocked out before. He's only lost 3 times. Let me just see if he's ever been subbed. Has he ever been subbed? No, he's never been subbed. So knockout or decision is probably the pick for how Dricus could win. But you never know. It's first time for everything. He could maybe get a sub on Adesanya if he gets him down on the ground in a bad position there. I'll take Dricus du Plessis, not with the highest of confidence. I think Izzy is still dangerous. But Dricus has a dog there, a very good dog play. So I'll pick Dricus du Plessis to win. Who you got?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this fight for a while. My pick has been Still Knox for a long time, and I still feel the same. I think he's going to be much stronger than Izzy, no matter how much new steroids Izzy is doing to bulk up. I heard he got really big for this fight, but we'll find out Friday's show. I think Dricus is relentless in the way he approaches the fight itself. Not only when he tries for a takedown, but when he tries to get in your face. I think Izzy, he could win by keeping away and using that the classic Izzy style where he just he has a plan for everything he does in advance. It's just not throwaway strikes, man. He's thinking 3-4 strikes in advance. I think if that happens, Dricus isn't just going to sit there like a deer in headlights. He's going to go in, run at him, and try to mash him up. That's what I think. And I have no doubt in that. He's going to give it his all. This should be an excellent fight. I can see it going anyway, but I am going to call decision. Let's go with knockout or decision.
Yeah, I got to go with knockout decisions. He's never been subbed, Izzy. I don't think that. I mean, there's a first time for everything. It would be a nice way to win if Dricus could sub Izzy. I think more of the KO.
Yeah, and I think if it gets to that point, maybe he's trying to get a sub, and if it doesn't quite work out, depending on the position, he's just going to give that up and try to pound him out.
Yeah. So we are in agreement with this one here, an agreement with every single fight on the card except for the last one where we were in disagreement with Kai Kara France and Steve Erceg. But other than that, we are in agreement with every other fight. So looking good. I like UFC 305. I think it's going to be an amazing event to watch. Can't wait to see it.
Man, anything could be better than last time, eh?
Oh, yeah. Last week was horrible. So like and subscribe. These were our early predictions for the main card. Stay tuned on Friday for our final predictions, our thoughts, face-off, and our betting.
MMA, baby.
Peace out, folks.